So I recently did a little social experiment on some of my social medias, and I asked people what they thought about these two prompts. The first prompt is basically a fill in the blank. Trying to flip a $100 account into $1,000 account is blank. And the other one was shooting for 10% gains per month trading is blank. And I wanted to see what the forex and stock and anybody else who follows me trading community has to say about this prompt. And the comments did not disappoint. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the comments, and then I'm going to show you guys whether or not I think these sort of returns are realistic, and maybe some additional comments on it. So let's jump into that. So first, let's take a look at this one. Trying to flip a $100 account into a $1,000 account is, let's see what people had to say. It is a risky game for short term, but it's cool on a long-term trading plan and proper risk management. Stupid, LOL, possible, but take it easy. Just don't try to do it overnight. Aim for a modest 5% increase on your pot per trade. A test of patience, definitely doable with patience compounding your win total. Possible, says Gary. What's up, Gary? Time consuming. Is serious trading. Anything is possible. Is it intelligent? Probably not. Not easy, but possible. I once turned $1 into 120. How did you even do that? What broker lets you take a position when you have $1 in the account? That's crazy. Not hard if you can be patient and disciplined. Nick says not worth it. Use it to get funded. I actually kind of like that answer. Nick of Jupiter here saying instead of just trying to flip your money, you should just use that initial amount to try and get funded once you know you're able to. I agree with that. If you're financially stable, it's possible, but if not, it's daydreaming. Interesting. Possible yet difficult to do carefully. Roger Banks, what's up, Raja? Balls to the wall. Fair enough. Yes, that is some high risk trading, to say the very least, to try and turn $100 into $1,000. Tough with options, time consuming, risky, difficult but not impossible. It's doable without a doubt. Possible, depends on the time to do it. Possible but should be done with discipline. A good way to spend $100. Dave, nice comment there. We'll give that a like, that's funny. A hobby, did it on crypto, fiction, gambling, either an ultra marathon for 5 years, success rate could be 80%, or YOLO in a day, success rate 0.1%. But anyways, it's a waste of time and energy. Interesting. So yeah, $100, and this person says he's starting a $100 challenge in January. It's very common to do these one-off $100 account challenges. I will say they're very difficult, even for very successful traders. It's not an easy thing to do to flip accounts. Anyways, we'll keep going. Let's see what else people said. Easy, it's easy. Possible, with the right setup, patience, and absolute trust in your strategy, it is possible. Have you done this, and did you do it in forex? If so, what currency pair? I have not done this. This is not sort of my style. I am much more conservative and slow and steady. I also, to be fair, I don't trade small amounts of money. I trade a larger amount of capital that I'm looking to just very slowly compound. The old thing I like to bring up is, like, if you're trading on, let's say, $1 million trading account, 1% is $10,000. So you only need to make like 1%, 2% per month is fantastic, right? So it's all relative. Achievable, it depends on your skills, from impossible to easy. Gambling, crypto, YOLO trade, not impossible. Possible, I've done it, definitely was not easy. Very possible, this guy sent his some of his results. Gambling, possible, it's possible only if the market favors you. Doable, currently flipping $50 to $1,000. A fool's errand. The fear of losing $100 can't be compared to the fear of losing orders of magnitude greater. Flipping at this size is easy because the fear of loss is almost meaningless. Would you take the same risk with a 10K account? And this is an interesting concept that Avi puts in the chat. He says basically it's different at different account sizes. And I would say that emotionally it is different, but from a mechanical point of view, it is the same thing. It's just a proportion, right? If you're trading a $100 account trying to turn it into $1,000, it really is the same as $10,000 to $100,000. But most people would agree, like $100 is a losable amount of money to try and go very, very aggressive, whereas most people would say $10,000 is way too much money to just sort of YOLO and try and trade quickly into a big amount of money. Though, unfortunately, people do this all the time too, and I think that what we're getting is a lot of people are saying, it is possible to do, but it comes with a very high level of risk and a strong probability that you will blow the account along the way. So if you're like trying to turn $100 into $1,000, you have to accept that massive risk because there's no free lunch in the markets. We've talked about this many times. This guy says easy as F. BS, waste of time. Go out, get a job, save $5,000 and start your journey. Just hope your patience is up for the challenge. I like Patrick's answer too. So there you go. There's the first comment. And the next one that I wanted to go back to was, we'll go back to this tweet. And then I'll share my thoughts on this in a second. Shooting for 10% gains per month trading is blank. And I invite you guys to fill your answers down below in the comments to this if you would like to. But we're just going to read some of the comments. If you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, check me out in the pinned comment section down below. I'll drop my Twitter link if you want to follow me there. So shooting for 10% per month is realistic with the right strategy and mindset. To aim 10% a month is nice, and it is possible to achieve. Realistic for day traders and scalpers, 100% unrealistic and might not be achievable for a swing trader. Within the realm of reason, it is possible, but mean you risk a lot. Yes, that's a fair, transparent answer. It is possible, but you are risking much higher when you're trading with 10% gains per month on average. Smart and realistic. It tends to fail when you listen to others or compare. Otherwise, solid plan. Necessary to adapt a realistic return on investment as an amateur with strict money management and a well-honed skill set and plan. Totally doable, totally durable, unrealistic, quite reasonable with a much decent capital. Wonderful. How to make assumption unsustainable. Realistic if the equity is big enough. I agree with John's response here. Why would the equity matter? 10% is 10% no matter what, which is exactly right. Doesn't matter if you're trading 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. 10% is still just 10%. Sam KB, what's up, Sam? Sam, you threw a wrench in it, my friend. If you guys don't follow Sam, go check him out. Sam and I are friends on Twitter and social media, I suppose. We've done a podcast episode together. It was awesome. Sam KB says an unrealistic requirement all prop firms insist upon. And his comment got a lot of likes. And you guys might be seeing my response here. So here's the thing, right? Okay, we got to talk about this because 10% per month for many people in this chat, in this tweet response, are saying totally doable, totally durable. What I would say, and I don't want to be the unpopular person, but Sam and I agree. Sam and I are also profitable traders. We've been doing this for a number of years. I know through conversations with Sam, he is the real deal. I've put up my track record on the internet and all sorts of things. Realistic, profitable traders do not shoot for 10% per month. It sounds realistic, but very few people are going to actually be able to throw up a MyFX book with 10% average monthly returns over numbers of years. You might be able to do it short term, but what I'm talking about here is long-term realistic expectations in the market. Can you make 10% per month? And I'm going to show you how crazy 10% actually is in just a moment. It sounds reasonable to traders as they begin, but it is, in my opinion, very much too risky. It's going to blow your account because 10% can very quickly turn into some massive drawdowns when you're risking a bit more in order to generate that 10%. It's all about drawdown. It's all about capital protection. That's the name of the game for profitable trading, in my opinion here. So let's keep going. Yeah, thinking too small. 10% of $1 million is 100K in profit. How is that small? It's all proportional, right? It's all about, and people will say, well, trading $1 million and making 10% per month is not realistic, but doing it on $1,000 is realistic. Remember, it's just a proportion. It's the same thing. People think that trading small accounts is different than trading big accounts. I've traded both profitably. I can tell you they're the same. It's the same concept, just the numbers are different. The only thing really different about trading a big capital size versus a very small capital size is that the emotions are different, and you have to train yourself to comfortably stomach losing 10 grand on a trade, losing 5 grand on a trade, making $15,000 on a trade. And those are numbers that I personally am trying to get up to in 2023. I'm trying to up my capital, or I am upgrading my capital size. I'm stepping into that, but that's been a process for me. I've stepped into bigger accounts over the years. And I can tell you though, percentages are percentages. It doesn't matter if you're trading 1,000, 500, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, a million. It's all percentages and relative to that. The only difference from trading small accounts to big accounts is the mindset that is required to sort of, or the mental capacity to watch larger numbers swing, because that is a real thing. But the actual practicality of trading differently due to the account size is not a thing, in my opinion. People who are looking to gamble small accounts can also gamble big accounts, and both cases, in my opinion, have a very high chance of blowing accounts. And I'll show you something here. Let's go look at some cool stats. So I pulled up this compounding calculator, and I know you guys have probably seen this stuff before, but this is how outrageous 10% actually is per month. Now, first of all, I'll say this: nobody on MyFXBook, the site, the third-party site that tracks trading performance, professional, amateur, gambler on MyFXBook, nobody has long-term, like 5 years plus, of a 10% plus per month average in trading forex. You have to ask yourself, why not? Why is that average not a thing? And the reason for that, the reason that 10% per month on average does not actually make sense, is because when you go into losing streaks, it's very hard to recover in a serious drawdown. And when you shoot for large numbers, you have to risk higher. So you get into deeper drawdowns, which leads to more painful equity curves, etc. But let me show you something crazy. At 10% per month, if you actually were able to do this consistently on a $1,000 account, in 10 years, just 1 decade of trading, which, yeah, that's a long time, but in a real trader's career, that's one of several decades, hopefully. If we're compounding it monthly, and we're saying, okay, 10% per month in 10 years on $1,000, how much will we actually make? And we're going to have 0 contributions, no additional contributions, just 10% added or gained per month. The numbers are ridiculous. $92 million in 10 years. I'm not trying to be a naysayer and telling you that this is not realistic, but 1,000 to 92 million in 10 years doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that it couldn't happen, but if it does happen, you'd be the first on the planet to trade like this consistently for 10 years. In fact, there was a thing that Warren Buffett did a number of years ago where he put up $1 million bet, I believe. And I'm speaking off of memory, I could be wrong, but please fact check me on this. Warren Buffett put up a $1 million prize for a hedge fund that could outperform the S&P 500 in a decade over time, or 1 decade, right? And nobody beat his challenge. And that's talking about active, and you might say, oh, well, that's different, that's investing. There are hedge funds who are active traders like you and I. Sure, they're trading large capital and maybe their strategies are a little bit different, but there are small hedge funds that trade very similar to you and I in the sense that they have relatively easy access to liquidity. They can, if you're trading a $50 million account, that sounds pretty big, but if you're comparing it to billions and trillions of dollars being traded, it's still a very liquid opportunity. And hedge funds could not beat that challenge, which to beat the average last 10 years, the S&P 500, I believe is like 8 or 9% per year. So the best of the best couldn't do it. So the reason I'm showing you this is not to bash your dreams. My goal with showing you this is like, you don't need to try and flip accounts. It's going to result in blown accounts. But if you take the slow and steady route, we can still get some great results. What if you took $1,000 and instead you went for something like 2% per month on average? In 10 years, you're still going to have excellent returns. You're going to get up to $10,000. And this is assuming that you don't contribute anything. But I don't know about you and I don't know about you, but for me, I have many side hustles in addition to my trading. I always have. I've never traded only. Maybe in my retirement, I'll only trade, but I have plenty of time in my life to do other things, whether it be starting other businesses. I run a software company for traders. I have this YouTube channel, right? So I have other things. Let's just say we could contribute $500 a month, whether that be from a job, whatever. If you contributed $500 additional, in 10 years, you're looking at $250,000 in just 10 years. Do that for another 10 years after that, and now you're talking some incredible numbers. You're talking about $3 million, right? And this is much more practical, much more realistic than trying to go for 10% per month. So my point with this video is not to bash your dreams. My goal with this video is to encourage you to not try and go sprinting into this trading thing, but rather run the marathon with me. If you enjoy this content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you back next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I've put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.